Hi all, I hope you're all having a great day. I wanted to get on here real quick and give my thoughts about this bag right here. This is the Everlane Day Market Tote, and it was a bag that I had really wanted for a while. I had read a lot of blog posts that were raving about it. I had seen a lot of YouTube videos that really, said very good things about it, so I really wanted the bag. A lot of what I read was that it was very high quality for a very reasonable price point, and I do agree with that. This bag is $175 and the leather is very beautiful. The stitching is like really nice and even, so I do think it is a good quality bag. However, I am returning it because it is unfortunately not a bag that works out for me, and so I wanted to give a few points about why I'm returning it, because I hadn't actually really seen too many reviews that really spoke about these issues. So this is in the rose color. I had, as I said, wanted this bag for a while, but I had held off on purchasing it because this seems to be one of the staple bags for Everlane. It's been on their website for quite some time. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. However, a few weeks ago I had noticed that the rose color was, when you clicked on rose on their website, there was a little notification that said, I think at that point it was 19 left. So it seemed like this was a color that was going to be phased out. So that really prompted me to purchase it because it's the color that I did want. It's this beautiful kind of soft pink, baby pink color. I was actually fairly disappointed when I first received it. It had a lot of indentations and creasing on the front of the bag. So I emailed customer service and they exchanged it for me. I got the second bag, which is this bag, and the front of it was in much better condition, but the back here, and you can kind of see it, had kind of still this denting here. And so I had emailed customer service about that again, and they had said that's just kind of some normal marks that happened during the shipping process, and they recommended that I stuff it and also that I use it, and that the marks should come out, and if I was still unhappy in about a week or so to reach out to them again. So I did that, and as much as I really like this bag, because I do think it's beautiful, it's a tote. I've mentioned before, totes are 100% my most used style of bag. I love a good tote, but using it was not the most pleasurable experience for me. And so here's why. One of the reasons is that this is a very soft leather, and this bag is also fairly slim. So what I found is that when I had put my things in there, I felt like I had to really arrange them for it to not make the bag bulge out because it's so slim. And so that was a struggle. And then I also felt like even when I was trying to arrange it so carefully, there was still something that was pressing against the front or the back and making it bulge out. And you could see the indentation of, say, my wallet or my sunglasses case or one of the pouches I had or even my phone. That in and of itself wouldn't necessarily bother me. I have bags that are kind of a softer or thinner leather where you can see the outlines of some of the things that are inside of it. My Valentino Rockstud tote is one of them. I did a video about that. So that in and of itself didn't bother me. But because this leather is so smooth, it made me really paranoid and nervous every time I was using it, that if something was causing an outline or that it was going to cause creasing that was going to eventually become permanent, I couldn't feel comfortable using this bag. And I'm gonna try and see if I can show what I mean about the outlining and the creasing. So I don't wanna do it too badly because this bag is going to be returned, but so this is the bag, and let's say I had my set of pens in here and my little Coach Nolita 15. Let's just say it was like that. So then, there, right there, that's the pen case. You can see that. And so I would feel super paranoid that if it was like this, these marks would start to become permanent, because this is such a smooth leather and it just felt like it was going to be prone to that you know, even based on the fact that there were indentations that were just normal from shipping. So that made me, it wasn't a pleasurable experience because I was just always so paranoid. I felt like I was always trying to rearrange things, and no matter how I rearranged things, I couldn't not have something showing as an outline. Again, I carry a lot of things in my bag, so that maybe is on me a little bit, but on the other hand, bags should be functional, and I carry a lot of things, but I don't feel like I carry so many things that a good sized tote bag shouldn't be able to fit it, and that I shouldn't have to feel like paranoid about ruining the bag, if that makes any sense. That wasn't very well worded, I apologize. But basically, I felt like I was always trying to like perfectly arrange it so that there wasn't going to be an outline and I couldn't ever get it. And I felt like if there was something making some sort of outline, that it was going to eventually ruin the bag because it was going to cause permanent denting, creasing, whatever it may be. So that was my first big con for this bag personally. My other one were these straps. Now, again, this is a new bag, so I do think that the bag itself and the straps would loosen up in time. Obviously, they're kind of folded over right now. That's how it came to me. But with the straps, a lot of people commented on how nice and wide and comfortable the straps are. But they actually ended up being a con to me because I felt like I couldn't keep it on my shoulder because they were too wide. Again, this may just be a me thing, but the way I like to carry my bags here is I would want this outside shoulder strap on the top, and it always felt like it was slipping off. What I would do sometimes to try and mitigate that is I would stick the outside shoulder strap underneath, which helped in the comfort of carrying it, but then if I ever needed to reach into the bag, it made it so much harder to open it up because it was underneath rather than on top. Again, that would probably get better as the bag is used and the straps loosen up and the leather softens, but it was just annoying. I always felt like this was falling off, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something with the anatomy of my shoulders or something. I don't know, because I haven't heard this. The straps, if they're mentioned at all, are usually mentioned as a huge positive because they're wide and comfortable. But for me, it was not comfortable. I also had been really excited about the bag because it's a fairly large bag. According to the website, it is 19 inches across the top, 16 and a half inches across the bottom, and 13 inches in height. So that's a pretty large bag, and I was excited because I like big bags. I really like a nice large tote bag, but I also found that because of how slim it is, I didn't feel like it was as large as it should have felt. Because it was so slim, I felt like I had to really arrange things so carefully that I couldn't let anything kind of even remotely a little bit bulge out, and in the end, I didn't feel like it allowed me to carry nearly as much as I would have imagined for a bag of those dimensions. The last thing about this bag is I just didn't feel like, I used it for a week and those marks are still there. Like, some of this at the bottom is from the stuffing, but up top, I don't know how well it's showing up, but like, that's not stuffed on top anymore, and they're still there. So I just didn't feel like, it just bothered me. All that being said, I was actually all set to keep this bag because I do really like it. I love the color, and it had been on my wish list for so long, so I think I kind of had that feeling of like, oh, are you going to regret it if you return it, because, and then this color is no longer available because you've wanted it for so long. I thought maybe I can get over it, maybe I'm thinking too much, like over analyzing it, maybe it'll be fine. But really cinched the deal for me was on National Handbag Day, whatever that day was, I actually switched out of this bag and used my Coach Market Tote. So I had switched out of the Everlane and switched into this Coach Market Tote here just because I wanted something, I don't know, fun, and I like the leopard print. And what really made the difference for me was, this is a much wider base than the Everlane. I don't know. Sorry, this is a horrible example. But the Coach, there we go. I think that shows it. So the Coach Market Tote has a much wider base than the Everlane. And so putting things into it was really easy. This actually doesn't feel like it's that much of a thicker leather, but I didn't have the indentations. And what really, really cinched it for me was when I was using it. And this has much thinner straps than the Everlane. So you can see here, the Everlane straps are much wider. And I know a lot of people don't like thin straps. They see it as a con. They feel like it's digging into their shoulders. And that's always been one of those things that's never bothered me. It's never been a con for me. I've never really noticed thin straps bothering me. So this has thinner straps, and I guess this is why, because when I used it that day, it was so much more comfortable to just carry. And I think it's because the thinner straps stay up on my shoulder. The wider straps basically took up my shoulder. I can show you here. Wider straps take up my shoulder, which is why I think in part it feels like it's always falling off. But the thinner straps here, I can have up here, and it feels good. It feels comfortable and secure. So I had used this bag, and it was just so much more comfortable and easy to use, and that kind of cinched it for me that this was not the bag for me. So I contacted customer service. It had been about a week, and I had said, I took your suggestion. I used the bag, so I don't know that it's returnable anymore because I've used it. And they were really wonderful. They said that yes, I can return it. So I will be doing that. Everlane's customer service 100% is great. They were very responsive. They were very understanding and accommodating. So, the company itself is wonderful. Even the bag, honestly, I like this bag. I think it's a beautiful bag. I think it's beautifully well made. I think maybe I'm a little bit too picky, and I don't usually think of myself that way. I usually feel like not a lot of things bother me, but I just, between the straps and that being very uncomfortable and just that paranoia I kept having that, if there was anything that was pushing against the bag, that I was going to be making a permanent dent in or crease or whatever, I just couldn't feel comfortable using the bag. I can see this being a really great bag for school if you carry a lot of like notebooks or folders or anything that are slim and kind of already in this shape. I do think it could be a great work tote if you're someone who carries like a laptop or a lot of files. I think this could work really well for that because again, they're slim and those things already kind of fit this kind of shape. It just wasn't a great bag for the things that I carry and, for what feels comfortable on my shoulder. That's not to say not to get the bag if you're interested in it. Again, I do think it's a really beautiful bag. It's well made. I think it'll last a long time. But I did want to make this video and kind of share my experience with it in case anyone was thinking about it. And these are also things that potentially may be cons for you. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you liked this video, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.